The Lakers continue their win streak. We successfully secure the number 2 seed, and LeBron James fell 1 point short of a milestone that has never been achieved in the history of the NBA. Let's talk about it. Before we get started, if you could do me a huge favor and drop a like on the video, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future Lakers and other sports content. So the Lakers beat the Clippers last night again, 108-102, successfully extending our win streak to 6 games. No Austin Reeves, no Rui Hachimura, no Jordan Goodwin, and we didn't miss a beat. We still saw a high level of defensive intensity. We still saw some flashes of some good offense, even though AR was on the court. And obviously with Rui's contributions, he's been doing very well on both ends. The fact that we were able to still compete at a high level without those guys just shows how deep we really are. Speaking of which, for those of you who don't know, I'm going to give you guys some updates regarding, the injuries to Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, and Jordan Goodwin. So for the most part, the injuries aren't super significant, but they can miss some time. I think Austin Reeves is probably the most optimistic at this point. He was diagnosed with left calf soreness. He got some MRIs done, so it doesn't seem like there's any major injuries going on. So he was listed as day-to-day. I think it was just a smart thing to do to kind of sit him against the Clippers, just to get him some extra rest, just as a precaution. But I think he would probably be the closest to returning. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he does return Tuesday against the Pelicans. Next up would be probably Jordan Goodwin. He was diagnosed with the left ankle sprain, but it doesn't seem to be too significant. Even for the injury report against the Clippers, he was listed as doubtful. So, I mean, it could go either way. It could be one of those things to where it's just like you just want to successfully manage it. You don't need to rush him to come back because our team has still been playing pretty well. But at the same time, he's also still on a 2-way contract. So we would like to see some updates regarding whether or not he's going to be officially signed to the roster or not. But in terms of his health, I would imagine he would be due back in maybe a week's time, which would be good news. Rui Hachimura is probably the next one up in terms of the highest concern. He was diagnosed with a left patellar tendinopathy. So I'm not going to pretend like I'm a doctor, right? I don't. But from what I can gather, the research that I did online and whatnot, it's kind of one of those tricky things to where you just have to be very cautious with it. Nothing super significant, but it could easily turn into something significant. So he's going to be reevaluated in a week. Again, that doesn't mean he's going to be back in a week. He'll just be reevaluated in a week. And then we'll kind of take it from there. But hopefully when he is reevaluated, things will be looking on the up and up, and he'll be back within a few days from that time. Most of us are already familiar with Maxi Kleber. He's been out for pretty much most of the season with the left foot surgery. But there is recent news that he is optimistically due back to return, hopefully before the playoffs, which will actually be pretty good because I think, just having another body would be great, but having someone who can add a little bit more size along with our wing depth and can stretch the floor at the center position can be beneficial for us, especially if he's able to ramp up with a few games heading into the playoffs. So let's hope for the best on that one. So hopefully that information was helpful. And if it was, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to keep providing information regarding injuries and the status of our players going forward. With that being said, let's go back to the game and let's break this down. So again, we beat the Clippers 108-102. And overall, I think for most of the game, we were pretty much in control. But this is probably the best that Luka has looked as a Laker so far, especially in that first quarter. I mean, he was absolutely lights out. That's the Luka that we're used to seeing. Someone that's just taking difficult shots, super confident, very efficient from the field. I mean, it was really prime peak Luka at that time. So you can definitely tell that he's coming into his own. He's getting his feet back under him. He's getting more comfortable in this new environment under Coach JJ Redick with his new teammates. So I'm thinking it won't be long before he gets into peak form and then this team really starts to surge. He finished the game with 29 points, 6 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals. He went 6 of 9 from the free throw line, so we would like to see that improve a little bit. For his career, he's, never been a great free throw shooter, but he's not like a horrible one either. So, but even then, we would like to see that improve to at least 80%. And from 3-point range, he went 5 of 12, which is over 40%. So I'll definitely take that efficient shooting night from beyond the arc. And he shot 9 of 17 from the field. So overall, just a pretty efficient night, certainly more efficient than we've seen from him as of late. And he finished the game at a plus 19. So I would argue this is Luka's best game yet. And mostly because of the efficiency standpoint. Just from that 3-point range, he was super confident. And again, he lit it up that first quarter. And then from the field overall, he's shooting over 50%. So that's something you'd like to see as the best player on our team, quote unquote. LeBron James is making a very strong argument, even at 40 years old. But again, I think we could all agree that, this franchise is going to be led by Luka Doncic. We heard JJ Redick say it himself. Things started to change a little bit. You could see Luka starting to get more confident once it was announced and decided amongst everyone that this offense was going to run through Luka. Now, I mentioned before that LeBron James, he didn't have a good night. And actually, this is one of his worst performances in quite some time. He finished the game with 17 points, which is not bad, but he literally fell 1 point short of being the first player in NBA history to rack up 50,000 career points. That's regular season plus playoffs, which is insane to think about. It's like, come on, dog. You couldn't get one more point. But anyway, I guess he'll get that done the next game. But he went 1 of 6 from 3 and 6 of 17 from the field. So just super inefficient. He did have 5 rebounds, 9 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, but he had 8 turnovers. As a team for the game, we had 16. So that means LeBron accounted for more than half of the team's turnovers, which is just not good, right? And while we're on that, I want to say that, LeBron James, obviously, he's playing at an incredibly high level, especially considering his age and the amount of years that he's played in the NBA. But what I'm noticing with LeBron is that you really start to see his gameplay being impacted when he starts getting fatigued. Like, that's like a clear sign. You know what I'm saying? It's, he still has the athleticism. He still has the ability to score, facilitate, pretty much do all the things that we know LeBron James to do. But now at this stage of his career, it is so much more apparent when he's tired, when he's exhausted, whether it's physically, whether it's mentally, or both. And, he hasn't been really missing a lot of games. We're the 2nd seed now, and you could tell it's very important to not only him, but to the rest of the team that we want our players to play, because we're trying to build this momentum. We're trying to get this team on the same page, and we're trying to make a push for that high seed. But if I'm being completely honest, I think this game in itself is a clear sign that LeBron James needs rest. So to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised that come the Pelicans game, we play the Pelicans on Tuesday. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits that game. I think he could definitely use the rest. The next game after that isn't until Thursday, so that gives him a pretty decent amount of time to kind of rest and recover. And I would even go a step further and say I would actually recommend and encourage that they rest LeBron James for that game. No disrespect to the Pelicans, but if you look record-wise, that's the worst team that we've played in quite a few games. So I think sitting LeBron James, hopefully Austin Reeves is back by Tuesday. We have enough guys. We have enough depth. We have enough kind of fortitude and momentum to be able to push through that game, get the W, I think, without LeBron's presence. I think it's worth the risk at that point. We definitely want to keep winning, and we want to be at our best as much as we can. But I really think taking this time to rest LeBron James would be the best move. Aside from that, big shout out to Dalton Connect. Again, no Austin Reeves, no Jordan Goodwin, no Rui Hachimura. So it was communicated prior, even the previous game. JJ mentioned that, when we beat the Clippers the last game, he mentioned to Dalton Connect that he would pretty much be out of the rotation, but to stay ready. And he came in the last game, hit some big shots. And with this game, he actually finished it with 19 points. 19 points. He shot 5 of 8 from 3, 7 of 10 from the field. He had 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Dalton Connect really stepped up. And I'm pretty confident saying that we don't win this game without him or without his contributions. I'm very proud of Dalton Connect, man. It's been a rough stretch. He started out the season a flamethrower. Everybody was on his side. Everybody was cheering him up. He was the man. Then he hits a slump. Then the whole trade thing happens. Now his number's called, and he steps up big time. Huge shout out to Dalton Connect, man. And JJ Redick said it best. That is a true professional. That is a definition of a professional. Just being on the roster, being on the bench, ready for your moment, for when your name is called. And when it is, you step up to the plate. Cute, great game from DK. Dorian Finney-Smith had to start. No Rui Hachimura. So that's, he's the next man up in terms of kind of filling that tween, whether it's the 3 or the 4 role. and he finished in double figures. He had 11 points. He was a plus 24. He shot 2 of 5 from 3, 4 of 9 from the field, 4 rebounds, 1 steal. So overall, a pretty solid game from Dorian Finney-Smith. And the thing is, though, with DFS, a lot of his game and a lot of his contribution isn't really going to show up in the box score. That's the type of player that he is. He just makes a lot of winning plays with his defense, with his hustle, with his communication, picking up the slack with other guys. If somebody misses an assignment, he's there to kind of pick it up. At DFS he's just one of those guys that you want to have on your team. I personally am still a big fan of him potentially starting. I think that's an adjustment that JJ Redick can make in the lineup. Move Rui to the bench, start DFS. I just think it'll be a much better fit. DFS still can hit the 3 ball, but brings a defensive presence in that starting lineup alongside LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. Bring Rui off the bench to bring just a high-powered scoring punch, but can still show his improvement in defense and rebounding, but just in that second unit. But that's just my opinion. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think on that one. But either way, DFS had a great game, and this was just an overall solid game from the team, especially on a night where, again, LeBron James just didn't have it. Even Shake Milton got some minutes tonight. He played 8 minutes, gave us 6 points, shot 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. Very solid. Vando's Vando. He's going to do what he does. He played 22 minutes. He was a plus 10, finished with 8 points, 4 of 7 from the field, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. Again, man, I really can't say enough about this team. Gabe Vincent, he had 9 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. This team is really solid, man, and we're starting to look like a legit contender. If you look at the formula for a contending team, right? You're talking about an offensive rating, a top 10 offensive rating. We already have an elite defense. And the thing is, we've been struggling on offense. So it's only going to get better. LeBron James gets rest. He's going to come back. Austin Reeves is going to come back. Luka Doncic is coming into form. And we still have the best defense in the league based off of defensive rating. So you add that along with just having depth. Like we have a legit bench. We have players coming off the bench that can hit the ground running on pretty much on all cylinders. Defense, offense, shooting, rebounding. Every game that we play, we look more and more like a complete team. And we look more and more like one of the best teams in the NBA. And it's showing. We're the number 2 seed. Technically speaking, that on paper means we're the second best team in the Western Conference. So, yeah, this is exciting, man. As a Lakers fan, it's a really good time to be a Lakers fan, I got to say, because we certainly had our moments, man. We had our stretches where it wasn't looking too good. It wasn't very fun, but this is coming along really well. JJ Redick has these guys bought in. He has everyone locked in, focused on the goal, which is to make the playoffs, not in the damn play-in either. I'm talking about legitimately locking in a seed, a high seed, and trying to compete for a championship. Everything's coming together, and it's a good time to be a Lakers fan. But that'll be it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and drop a like. Make sure to subscribe, guys. That lets me know that you are genuinely enjoying the content, and it's 100% free. So please make sure to subscribe to the channel and join the community. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you on the next one.